first trade I ever placed, I actually won like £1.50, which is the equivalent to $3, I think. I lost my mum, we got made homeless. Now I have no funds account. So I'm literally like, that was the only thing keeping me going because I thought at least, I've got an opportunity to make some money. So at that point, I was just like, I'm not trading anymore. I didn't want to do anything. I just couldn't even function.
How long did it take for you to actually learn the strategy and then actually go and execute it and then make these $30,000 in profit that you've had in your journey?
Joined you in March 2023 and I got my first payout in August. Yeah, I feel like I just can't accept a normal life. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I don't know how far I'm going to go. I don't know if I'll ever get to your standard, but I just can't. Even if I fail, even if I never make it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another Swing Trainer Lab podcast. And today I think we have one of our most interesting stories when it comes to a trader and their journey and how they actually became successful. Today we're going to be having Nathan, a 27-year-old day trader in the UK, where it went from being a professional racer to being homeless to having a lot of more crazy stuff happen throughout his life. He's here in the waiting room. I'm going to let him in. Let's get to understand how he was able to go through his life challenges and get to the point where he was actually able to withdraw over $30,000 using the seven-figure strategy and how his journey has been and how trading affected it. Let's let him in. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. In fact, I've actually already met you once.
Where was that?
London, when you came 2 years ago.
London when I went 2 years ago. Okay. Oh, at one of those events that I did. We met at that event. Oh, bro, I'm sorry. I don't remember you, man.
No, no, it's fine. I know you meet loads of people, but yeah, we had a picture and yeah, so I met you back then.
Sick, man. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to, do this podcast and stuff. And I appreciate you being here.
No, thank you to you. I think I'm gonna get more value out of it than you, I think. So yeah, I appreciate it too.
No, of course. I mean, so I kind of read a little bit of what my team sent me over of your story, right? You went from being a professional motorcycle racer, you went homeless, you made $30,000 profit, you were part of the community. Like, give us a little bit of your journey, break down where Nathan has gone through his life, how he got to the point where he is now. Just give us a little bit of your story, man.
Yeah, so like you say, my background was in racing. I raced from being 7 and I retired when I was 23. That's all I've ever done. That's all I ever did from leaving school. So yeah, that was the only thing I knew. But back in 2021, I actually retired from that because the risk was outweighing the reward a little bit. So, but before 2021, it was actually 2020 when I found out about trading. My mum went on holiday and she sat next to a professional trader. And at the time, it was the pandemic, so I was already looking at ways to earn money because my racing season, there was no season because the whole world stopped. So I was starting, how could I make online? And I never heard of trading, but like I say, my mum went on holiday. She sat next to someone on the plane. They was telling her about trading, so I ended up getting her number off my mum. And yeah, I started looking at trading. She actually put me on to IML, which is what most people do. And I quickly realized, like you did, and like what most people realized, they're not interested in teaching you how to trade. But I learned a little bit from there. And then I just went onto YouTube, just watching people draw support and resistance on a screen. And there's only so many times you can watch that. But I did that for a little while. And then my racing season started again. So I just left trading. I just left it for like a year. I literally got to the part where you just set up an account, place a few trades. The first trade I ever placed, I actually won like £1.50, which is the equivalent to $3, I think. And I remember when I did that. The reason I'm telling you is I remember when I made £1.50, I like my belief system changed because although it was nothing, I realized that you could actually make money from not going to a normal job. So from there, I was like, okay, this is real. But like I say, I left it. I went back racing, and I did that for another year, and then I quit. So then I just did nothing for a year because I really didn't know what to do with my life. And I just thought one day in 2022, shall we have another go at trading? Because I'd not really done it properly. I just watched a few YouTube videos. So yeah, that's how I started back in 2022 was properly when I started trading.
And when you originally started at that point, you weren't part of the actual Set and Forget community. You just were watching YouTube videos. How did you actually stumble across the Set and Forget, and how did it change when you joined?
Yeah, so I did a bit of IML, watched a few YouTube videos, and again, probably same as you. I just had so many lines on my chart, I didn't understand what I was doing. I was trying to scalp. I quickly learned that that weren't for me. I made a little bit of money, then I lost it, like everyone does. I remember I actually got a part-time job delivering Chinese food because I had literally no money to live on. Like I sold my bikes when I quit racing, so I was living off of that money, and that started to run out. So I got a little part-time job delivering food, and I was just trading. And eventually, I came across you. And I can't remember exactly when it were. I think I joined you in March 2023. So I've been with you guys since then. And that's when I felt like before I came across you, I had all this information, but I didn't know how to put it together. Like I say, there's only so many times you can watch someone draw support and resistance or explain what a lower low and a lower high is. At some point, you've got to put it together, and I just didn't understand how. But when I joined your community and studied your course, it was like I felt like you was almost talking to just me when you was explaining it because I was just ready for what you was about to say. So that's when I started to see like consistent profit. Still not on a live account, just on my small personal one, not on a funded account. I mean, but yeah, that's when I started to develop some consistency because I was starting to figure out how to put what I'd learned together from your course.
And then when you joined the community, what would you say was one of the biggest things that you were struggling with? Was it market structure, support and resistance? Like what was that was kind of giving you that difficulty?
Yeah, I think, like I say, it was putting it together. I had market structure, I had supply and demand. I knew what the candlesticks meant, but I just didn't know how to put it all together. I just didn't understand. But the way you explain it, you just used the higher time frames. In fact, I actually remember I was laid in bed one day and I was thinking, I don't understand why it's not working. I know the information, I know what supply and demand is, not market structure is, and I just thought all of a sudden I had a brainwave and I was like, I need to use the higher time frames. And then the day after I came across you and then I studied your course and that confirmed what I thought about using the higher time frames. So when you explained it and I had to like wait for the trend, wait for it to get to my zone, wait for it to reject, and I started putting it together. And that's when it, like I say, I started to get a little bit of consistency.
And then how long did it take for you to actually learn the strategy and then actually go and execute it and then make these $30,000 in profit that you've had in your journey? Talk to
So
us,
I,
yeah, talk to us how that process or that journey was.
so I joined you in March 2023 and I got my first payout in August. It was a small one. I think it was like three and a half grand. Sorry, no, I joined you in 2023 and I got funded in December 2023.
Okay. Was
So
it
it took me about 9 months to get funded.
okay?
Okay. So I got funded about 3 days before Christmas. And I remember,
Okay.
like, obviously, I was excited. I started planning my life. I started Googling Lambos like you do. And I was just thinking, like, 2024 is just going to be like my year. Like, I've finally done it. So I thought I'll enjoy Christmas. I'll enjoy New Year. And then, like, the second week in January, I'll start trading on my funded account. I thought I'll give the market a week in New Year to just get its bearings. So I thought 8th of January, that was the second week. That's when I'll start. And hopefully I can start making some money. But on the 5th of January, my mum went to work and didn't come home. And to cut a long story short, I'm not going to bore you with my life story, but she got diagnosed with cancer that day. Like she went to work fine and she came home. Well, like I say, she didn't come home. She stayed in the hospital and they told us that she had literally a few months left.
Oh wow.
So that was the 5th, and I was going to start trading on the 8th. So obviously, you can imagine I couldn't even function. Like I just didn't look at the chart for ages. I was just concentrating on looking after my mum at that point.
Sorry to
Me-
hear that.
no, it's fine. I just thought, anyone who watches this, I'm not saying it for sympathy or anything like that. I just thought if anyone listens to this, it might inspire them. Because obviously, I've come out the other end now. So if I just explain what I've been through to get to this point, so yeah, that was the 5th. She got diagnosed with that. So I didn't trade. I let like 3 or 4 months go past. And I thought, you know what, my mum's like deteriorating, but I thought I'll just, I've got that funded account. I'll try and make some money. But I shouldn't have done it. It was like a really big mistake because I still wasn't ready mentally, like with looking after my mom. So I lost 2 or 3 trades. I think I was like 6% down on my account. So that made me feel worse on top of looking after my mom. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it again. I'm just going to leave it for a bit longer. And then finally August came. So my mum got diagnosed January 5th, 2024. So it got to August and I'm down on my account, but I felt a lot more ready now. My mum was still poorly, but I felt in my mind different, like I could actually trade properly. So that was when I got my first payout. I got my account back and I got like a 3 grand payout, which I was so thankful for because at this point I had hardly any money to live on anyway. So it
Yeah.
worked out perfect. Obviously, it's not a lot, but it just kept my head above water so I could keep looking after my mom. So that was August 2023. September, October, she like started chemo. So I had to take her to there every single day. So again, I couldn't trade, but I just got that 3 grand payout. And then November, I traded again and I got another one. That one was a bit bigger. I think it was 5.5, something like that. So that was my second one. And that was at the beginning of November. And then at the end of November, 22nd of November, she passed away.
Damn.
So again, I just couldn't carry on trading. I've got this funded account and I've managed to keep my head above. I'm like looking after my mom, and her passing away was just taking up all of my time emotionally and
Yeah.
physically. So that was that. She passed away at the end of November. About 2 weeks later, the landlord told me and my sister, who was still in my mum's house, what my mum used to rent, they told us that we couldn't keep renting it out and they gave us no reason why. So at the same time as losing my mum, we got made homeless. So we basically got put in this like a two-bedroom flat. Yeah, it was okay. It could have been worse, but obviously it's not ideal after just losing your mum. So that was my
Yeah.
situation. The only thing I had through all this was my funded account. In the back of my mind when I'm ready,
Wow.
at least I've got that. So we did Christmas. January, we moved out, got put in this flat. So we're back to January 2025 this year. We're in this flat on his own, but I still have my account, like I keep saying. So I started trading again and I got another payout. That was 5,800, I think. So again, I've just kept my head above water because the money from my first two payouts was starting to run out again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I got that one January this year. And then the company I was funded with, they actually like relaunched. So everyone they had like a reset, so everyone's account like got took off them because they was relaunching their company. So like I say, I lost my mom, we got made homeless. Now I have no funded account. So
Wow.
I'm literally like that was the only thing keeping me going because I thought at least, I've got an opportunity to make some money. So at that point, I was just like, I'm not trading anymore. I didn't want to do anything. I couldn't even function, to be honest. And
Yeah.
that was January this year. And then in May, I picked up a birthday card, what my mum got me last year. And in it, she wrote, like, promise you won't give up on trading. And because she believed in me, like, don't get me wrong, I've tried a lot of things and she never believed I could do much with other things. But with trading, for some reason, she just knew that I could do it. So I remember reading this birthday card and she said, promise me you won't give up on trading because I know you can do it. And that was May this year. And I thought, yeah, you know what? Ever since I passed my funded account, I've never actually had an opportunity to do it 100%. I've always been looking after my mom and going through that. So I thought, I wonder what I could do if I had no distraction. Don't get me wrong, I still don't have anywhere to live, but I've got my computer. I didn't even have a desk, but I thought, whilst ever I've got my computer, I've got, I can give it a go. So I worked out my finances. I thought, if I buy another challenge, have I got enough money to live on? And I had enough money to live on for a couple of months. I thought, you know what? I'll just see what happens. I'll buy one. And thankfully, I passed phase one, passed phase two, and I just got a 16K payout last month. And last month, we also moved into our house, me and my sister. So
Wow.
hopefully, I think things are going to start changing.
Wow. Wow.
I know that was a lot, but I couldn't stop halfway through. I had to tell you
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Well, first of all, what happened to your mom happened to my friend Jordan. I don't know if you got to see that, but like that's definitely like a very dark journey, That's something that nobody can really kind of prepare you for, and it's difficult, right? And I'm not saying what I saw or had to go through is anywhere near close to what you did, but I understand, and I'm sorry for that happening. It's a very unfortunate situation, and the fact that you were still even able to trade or still even able to like even be thinking about that and like you have something in you, bro. You have this mindset, you have like this purpose, bro, when it comes to whether it's trading or whether it's to be successful or whatever it is. But like you're made for the challenge, you're made to be able to
Yeah.
be bigger and be stronger than something. And I just wanted to reach out and let you know that right now, because like I've never heard a story like that you have to go through a journey like that. Yeah, you pretty much have to get kicked out. Like the timings could have not been worse, right? Like everything was happening probably like perfectly against you rather than with you. So I just, bro, like you have something in you, and the fact that you just got a 16K payout this last month and you just came back to take on another trading challenge, I would definitely say, keep it going. Obviously, like you're onto something good, bro. For real.
Yeah, I feel like I just can't accept a normal life. Like I just can't do it. Like I don't know how far I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'll ever get to your standard, but I just can't. Even if I fail, even if I never make it, I've got a trap. Like
Yeah.
I just can't accept being normal. And I have nothing against anyone who is normal at all. Like everyone's different. But me personally, I just feel like I just can't do it. I just have to keep trying. Even if I quit for 2 years, I'm going to try at some point again.
Yeah. No, I mean, brother, you've gone through this journey right now, and you said how old are you? 27.
27, yeah.
And then, okay. So you never went to high school, you never went to college, you just went straight into racing.
Yeah, I like I say, I raced from being seven and I turned pro when I was 15 before I even left school. That was my original dream. but injuries and things didn't go how I wanted them to, so it weren't meant to be.
Yeah. And then
Uh,
where right now do you see yourself in your journey? Like, how do you feel at this very moment right now?
I'll be honest, I don't want to sit here and act like I've made it and like I know that yeah, like I've made it because I haven't. I got a 16K payout after what I've been through, and that's good, and I'm proud of myself. But I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. Like the next goal for me is to just be consistent. Obviously, I'm not financially free. 16 grand doesn't make you financially free. It's enough money to live off for a year, so I bought myself some time. But for me, it's just being consistent. I want to get as many payouts as I can. I want to get another funded account and merge them together so I can have more capital, obviously. And
Mhm.
then it's just being consistent and then see what happens after that. Yeah.
So, have you actually ever blown in a challenge account? Because from the sounds of it, you've blown.
Yeah, well, yeah. When I first came across when I first decided to trade back again in 2022 after quitting my racing, I didn't get funded till December 2023. So at that time, that's when I was blowing trading accounts. Yeah, I
Mm.
remember before I bought a funded challenge, I didn't set a stop loss. I traded Nasdaq because I used to think that if there's more volume, I can make more money, and obviously that's not true. But back when I first started, that's what I thought. So I was trading Nasdaq, and I didn't set a stop loss, and I lost £200 in one trade, which isn't a lot, but I used to earn that delivering Chinese in a full week. And I remember going to deposit my money, what I'd earned from delivering, into the bank, and I just sat on this bench and started crying because I just blown a full week's money in one trade for not setting a stop loss. So in answer to your question, yeah, I've blown accounts and blown funded accounts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't know. You kind of left me without words right now, right? I'm trying to comprehend everything. I mean, if you were to give somebody that's going to enter this journey a piece of advice, what would you give them? What's just the first thing that comes to your mind?
I think remember why you started in the first place. I mean, we've probably all read that cliche quote, like when you feel like quitting, remember why you started. But I think it's so true. I think that's the only reason I kept going. Like, remember why did you start trading in the first place, or why did you start any journey in the first place? Like you said, there's obviously something in you that wants something more. So it's okay to take a break, even if you do it for 6 months, like I did, or a year. But never stop trying, because if you stop trying, you haven't got a chance. Whilst ever you try, there's a chance. Even if you don't make it, you're giving yourself a chance. So my advice would be to, I know it's so simple and everyone sort of knows it consciously, but just keep going. Just remember why you started. Yeah. And I think as well, patience. Know that you can't skip the process or rush the process. Because that was one thing for me. I thought I was going to do it a lot quicker than what I did. I didn't like appreciate the challenge. Just know that it could take 3 years, 5 years, however long. Like, so patience as well. Yeah.
I like that. And right now, at the point where you are in your journey, you're just full-time trader right now. You don't have a job. Just after this payout, this is all you do, or do you still have a side income?
No, yeah, I've got to 27 and a half years old, never had a proper job. I think I worked in a supermarket for one day. I went to college, I lasted 2 days. I worked as a bin man, I think I lasted 3 weeks. So yeah, I've got to this age and barely had a normal job. And like I just said, I don't think I've made it, but I've bought myself another year. Like I can pay all my bills for a year now and just concentrate on trading. I've still got my 200K under the account. So at the minute, I'm going to try and not have a normal job. I'm going to go as long as I can.
Okay,
Uh,
so right now you're just full-time trader. That's all you do. That's how you dedicate your time. You make your money.
yeah, exactly.
How does it feel? Like, do you feel that you have too much free time and then you're too tempted to trade, or is it good because you're able to focus on the good setups?
It's funny how you just said that because I think that has actually happened. It's gone against me because I have, especially with your strategy, like you literally do nothing, nothing. You
Yeah.
analyze your pairs on Sunday, and then there's literally nothing to do until you enter a trade. And then once you've entered it, you do nothing. And because I'm an impatient person, the amount of times I have entered a trade too early or just made a trade up just because I'm bored is ridiculous. I'll be honest, I still do it. I did it about 3 weeks ago. And took an unnecessary loss. So yeah, I think it has gone against me. So I do feel like I want something else to do, but there's no way I'm just going to go and get a normal job just for the sake of something to do. So I'm a bit stuck, to be honest, when it comes to that, because I would love something else to do, and I'd love to create more ways to earn money as well. Obviously, it's not okay to just rely on trading. But yeah, that has definitely gone against me being too impatient because I've got too much time. 100%.
Yeah, that it's definitely a double-edged sword for sure. I would say that it's and at the point where you are in your journey right now that you've just gotten that free time, you're kind of just like understanding how to properly manage it and how to figure it out. I think that that's a very normal thing. And as time goes on, as you kind of make those mistakes and you take those unnecessary trades because you shouldn't be taking trades that aren't making sense and taking them just because you're bored, is then when you will then shift to properly using that time effectively. And you'll find a way to get busy with whatever it is that you end up doing, because you have to do something, man. Like literally just full-time trading all the time is extremely boring, bro. Like
No,
it's
yeah,
very boring.
yeah. It's like you say, it's boring, but it can go against you in terms of your trading because you
Mm.
can just trade for no reason, and that's definitely happened. I've only just started to fully appreciate how little you have to do, to make so much money. Like it still isn't ingrained in my belief system yet that I literally analyze my pairs on a Sunday. I dedicate like 2 hours. I can't do it as quick as you, and then that's it. I literally just wait for it to come to me, and I wait for the entry, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, and now talking about Sunday, what would you say is your favorite feature of so what would you say is your favorite feature of the actual Set and Forget community? Would it be the Sunday swings, the community, the actual classes? What would you say is your favorite?
I think for me, definitely Sunday swings because obviously I can sit and do my analysis, and then I can come on and watch you and obviously compare it. So, for example, if I do my analysis and then you come on and do yours and we have the exact same pairs, it makes me feel good because I know I'm doing something right. And at the same time, if you come on and do your pairs and they're different to mine, it makes me see where I might be going wrong. So it's a win-win. So 100% Sunday swings, definitely. Like I look forward to it every week. Like if I didn't do that, I wouldn't say I'm not as confident, but I just like to know that your pairs are the same as mine.
Yeah, that
You know?
extra confirmation, I definitely feel that.
Yeah, like the NZD USD trade a few weeks ago. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before that flew to like 1 to 5. You made like 350K. Well, we had the same trade, same entry. I entered it before you put it on your Instagram. So things like that make me feel just good that I know I'm doing the right thing. And especially because trading is such a lonely journey, as you know. You can't talk to anyone about it. Like you can't talk usually to your family or to your friends. So when you do something wrong, you don't know why because you can't, like I say, talk to someone. So coming on Sunday Swing, seeing other people's results and hearing you, it makes me feel like I don't know, just validated in some way that we're on the same journey and it's not as
Yeah.
lonely.
I definitely agree. I think that's it also keeps me in check because I am forced to make sure that I'm following the strategy and kind of setting it up perfectly, not only for myself, but for, thousands of other people that are going to be watching this analysis. And I like it. It keeps me in check. It holds me accountable, keeps me on my
Yeah.
A game. Now, I mean, I'm still kind of a little bit in shock, right? Your journey is crazy, man. And the fact that, you've gotten this far and you just have this persona to you that's very positive. Like, you seem like a very good person, like you have positive energy, and despite all the difficulties that you've gone through, like you're still fighting, man. And I really do appreciate that. I admire that, and I just I don't know, I feel like sometimes people when they're a certain way they don't realize it because that's just how they are, and
Mm.
when you would need a third person to come and tell you that. And I just wanted to tell you that because I think that maybe it could give you some clarity or just bring some light into your journey or just make your day a good day. But I think you're on to something good, man. And you have the personality and like the traits to keep it going, like maybe you might be some impatient for some trades and you break your plan, but you're just a minor adjustment away from that having a major impact in your journey as a whole. Because if out of 10 trades you're taking four of them that are unnecessary, but the six that you are taking are still giving you profits. Imagine you eliminate those four completely and you only focus on those six winning ones. Your trading is just going to literally nearly double, even triple with the proper risk to reward. So I just want to let you know that, man, honestly.
No, yeah, thank you. I said to my dad before I came on here, I said, I'm looking forward to doing this with you so much just because it'll be whatever you say will make me feel so good because, like you say, sometimes you don't realize until someone tells you. But coming from you, it's different because you know what it takes in trading and in business to
Hmm.
get to the level you're at. So, if some random person said what you just said, it probably won't mean as much, but because it's
Yeah.
just come from you,
Yeah.
it's valid because you understand. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, bro, is there anything you want to ask me? Is there something that I can help you with? Is there any type of advice? I'm right here. You get me? Is there something you've always wanted to ask me, some type of curiosity? Talk to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think you mean about trading, like the charts and stuff, or
It could be about anything, man. It could be about whatever you want.
I think there's two things in terms of the charts. Like you said, I'm just one minor adjustment away, and I know my profits could be so much bigger. And I think that comes down to three things. One thing we've already said, which is patience. But I know you can't give any advice on that. It's obvious. It's just doing it. But I think the other two things in terms of technicals are the entry and holding the trade. Like
Okay.
I enter too early sometimes, not because I do enter sometimes because being impatient, but sometimes it's just genuine technical analysis. I enter too early, and then sometimes I miss it and I enter too late. Like I can't get the entry right. I know there's no black and white answer,
Yes.
but I just can't get it. Like you seem to get as close to perfect every week, and I only do it some weeks, and it just messes my whole P&L up. And I just don't understand how you do it. Like for example, the GBP CAD trade, or this week, I was the
Yes.
same Sunday swings. I had the same pair before you marked it up. I was waiting for it, and then it pulled back. And I thought, right, that's a big bullish candle for the pullback. I'm going to need a daily doji and a double top on the 4 hour at least before I enter. And then I turned my phone on and then you're up like 200K or whatever it was. I don't take the trade, but I've done
Yeah.
the same analysis. And I'm just like, I don't understand how you knew to enter that earlier because I know there's sometimes you would wait for a daily doji or a 4 hour double top. So the entry is the first thing. And the second thing is holding the trade. Now, I know you say set and forget. I know you do that, but there's got to be some sort of guidelines and rules what you stick to, especially when you didn't have any money where you would be like, okay, I feel like I can hold this one. Okay, I feel like this is going to reverse. I'm going to close it. So that them two things I'm still confused about.
Yeah, so definitely this whole entry thing, I feel like inside of the community lately, since I've gotten so much better at it, it's just brought up so much more curiosity inside of the community. And because I'm technically indirectly somewhat breaking the trading plan to a certain extent, right? Like I'm taking the trades without those extra confirmations that I would look for, but then sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And the fact that you say that some weeks you do get the trades and other weeks you don't, there's just one thing that separates those results, right? Like that you get, let's say out of 4 weeks, you predicted 1 week and then the three you don't, or 2 weeks you get the sniper entries and then 2 weeks you don't, like me. And the only thing that separates you from me is time, right? I've been doing this a lot longer than you and especially consistently. So I would say the intuition that I have with the strategy and the way I am connected to the markets is just so advanced to a different level that I sometimes even don't even comprehend. Is that I've just been doing this for so long, and me teaching people this all of the time, me repeating myself, me just being on the forefront of it. I just have seen every single possible scenario, and when I go educate people, I already try and educate in advance so I avoid their questions. And just like all of this has just made me understand the market. This is a completely different level. And there's just sometimes where I just jump right into it because I just see it, and there's other times where I don't. And I'd say like the last 3, 4 months, I have been pretty lucky or very coincidental to like avoiding the perfect ones and then entering the perfect ones. I hope this lasts forever, but it probably, doesn't. Like, bro, I close NZD, USD, and I never close trades on Thursday night. And I close it, I say, you know what, fuck it, let's close it. And it would have taken me out at a stop loss. Like it's so crazy, right? Like my execution and timing to these trades have just been I've just been very connected to them. So I wish I can give you like a perfect answer, like a very black and white one. I'm glad that you understand that, it's not that it doesn't exist, is that it's not realistic.
Yeah,
It's just literally time. That's literally it. You just need a bit more time of constantly executing the strategy. And if I was you, I would personally base your P&L just off of the trades that give you those extra confirmations and only take those trades that have those extra confirmations. That's the advice that I could give you that could be black and white, right? Could you take the trades without the confirmations? Sure. Will they hit sometimes? Sure. But for the most part, they shouldn't. So I would just base your P&L and I would base your trades just based off of those extra confirmations. For example, GBP CAD, you should have actually waited for that daily doji. If that daily doji didn't happen, you should have never taken that trade. That was never it. And if you notice right now, it actually came back into that area and broke through. So it did have a quick, 1 to 6 to get to that point. But overall, the trade was just not going in that direction because it should have continued going to the downside. So if I was you and where you are right now in your journey with the type of capital that you have and to give you the best possible answer that I think it could have a big impact on your journey would be to just stick to those extra confirmation trades and those other trades that don't have the extra confirmations, just put the risk to reward tool as if you were to take it and write it down. It's like, yo, this week, these trades without extra confirmations, I would have won one but lost two. If the one that I won was a 1 to 2 risk to reward, it was break even. It was unnecessary brain damage. Like it was just not necessary, you know? And getting that extra daily confirmation actually made me win a trade and avoid a loss, so on and so forth. But I would stick to those higher time frame confirmations so then you can have a proper P&L based off of an exact strategy that you're repeatedly using exactly the same every single time.
Okay,
Does
thank
that
you.
make
I'm glad.
sense?
Yeah, I'm glad you've said that because now I know that there's nothing in terms of technical analysis that I'm missing. You know,
No, 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 no.
that like if you didn't say that and you said, "Oh, no, it's because of this candle or whatever," then I know that there's something I'm missing. But now I know there isn't. It's literally just time. Now I've heard you
Yeah.
say it. I feel better that I know it's not something I'm missing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, do you see something on the charts like technical that could be different? No, right? There really isn't anything.
no, no, and that's why it's frustrating when you wake up and you made 200K and I'm there and I've missed the trade.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, is that there's nothing additional on the chart. It's just literally my intuition to be able to execute that trade. Like I'm doing the analysis, like I'm literally saying, yo, it's gonna go here, it's gonna do this, it's gonna do this. Now, when it gets there, you should wait for this or wait for this. Now, I only wait for one thing and I take it. And lately it's just been working, right? And I'm not complaining. But that's the best thing that I can answer to that. And then in terms of take profits, and I obviously, set and forget, but I would personally, if I was you in your journey, stick to the 1 to 2 risk to reward. If you're taking those trades with those daily confirmations and you're having a 1 to 2 risk to reward, I personally believe that that by itself would just lead you to then 1 to 3s and then 1 to 4s. I wouldn't try and fix something that's not broken just yet. I do agree with the entry point. The entry point is something that I would 100% just really adjust that if I was you. But the other thing that I would really leave alone would be the risk to reward. You need a minimum of a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Catching a 1 to 3, you're modifying your actual P&L and how things are going to work.
Yeah. Okay. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, dude, honestly, Nathan, bro, I'm very glad that I took, this call, man. I'm very glad that you took your time out to do this call. This just shows that there's so many different people that come into this trading journey at so many different points of their life with so many different battles. And, if you really have the mindset, if you really have the proper plan, the strategy, like you're actually able to make something out of it despite what you go through. And I just want to say, like, I look up to you for what you've done, man, and to get to the point where you are. And the fact that you just withdrew 16K, that sets you up perfectly. If you say you have your bills paid for a year, there's no reason why you shouldn't get another payout and this month and the next month. But the best thing I would say is be careful with the double-edged sword of too much time, because that can really work against you with temptation in the market. So just limit yourself to 1 to 2 trades a week, stick to your risk management, and get the trays that actually have those proper confirmations. That's the best piece of advice that I can give you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. No, I appreciate you doing this, and thank you for deciding to teach this as well. Like, I take my hat off to anyone who tries to teach trading because there's only so much you can say. Like, it must be so hard. Like I've said, there's only so many times you can say this is supply and demand, this is market structure, this is an engulfing candle. Like, it's so hard to teach and get someone else to understand what you know. I just don't understand how you like the way you've come up with your program and made it so simple so other people understand it. Like you're giving people a foundation, and then they just need to go and put it together, which is what I've done. So thank you.
And Nathan, I appreciate you, man. I hope to see you on a part two whenever you get a bigger payout. Let's run another part two. And bro, keep killing your journey, man.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I'll see you
Okay.
tomorrow on Sunday Swings.
All right. See you, brother.
Yeah.
Take care, man. Bye.